today I want to talk about negative thinking, where it comes from, and what the hell we can do about it. And so, negative thinking, what we all have to understand about thinking in general is that thinking is a learned behavior. Thinking is actually about the way we actually process information. And so, in effect, what we think is thinking isn't really thinking. Nope, it's not. If you are not consciously of free will, dear one, of free will, choosing your thoughts, then you're not thinking. No. What you're doing is recycling patterns of thought that were imprinted in your subconscious mind when you were a little one, when you didn't know you knew nothing, or when you knew nothing, and when you were just absorbing the way the people in your experience spoke to you. And so, for instance, if you grew up in a home where mom was very anxious and she was always complaining and she was always nitpicking and she was always like harassing your dad, or she was just never happy, and no matter what you did, it was never enough, and all she did was, biatch and complain, that's all she did. You were taught to complain. You were taught a victim mentality. You were taught self-pity thought patterns, or patterns of self-pity. You were not taught how to face a challenge head on with the intent of being able to overcome the challenge and then feeling high self-regard because you were able to handle the challenge. Instead, dear one, you were taught that life sucked and that the world owed you something, and that the only way to handle your emotions was to huff and puff about them. And so as an adult now, in your reality, you might not be aware that when it rains, when you get cut off by someone in traffic, when you don't, things just don't go your way generally, or when people don't agree with you, you may not realize that this victim consciousness that you absorbed as a child from mom, you may not realize that that's really at the root of the way you perceive your reality today. And so it's really, really crucial for you to understand that thoughts, unless you are consciously choosing your thoughts, are not your thoughts. They're mom's thoughts. They're dad's thoughts. If you grew up in a home where, your parents acted like the world owed you something or owed them something, and they would complain about their boss, and they weren't the type of people that actually put their best foot forward. If they were people who looked at the world as half empty, then you look at the world half empty. And so when you're looking out in your environment, dear one, you don't have a grateful heart because you've been taught not to be grateful. And so it's really, really, really difficult, if not impossible, to be happy without feeling grateful, without feeling lucky, without feeling blessed. And codependents in general and adult children of alcoholics, what they tend to do is see life as the world half full, but they also tend to expect others to make them happy. And so if I'm married to Tom and I just cleaned up the apartment, or I just cleaned up the house, and Tom comes home from work and he walks in and he's like, "What's for dinner?" And he doesn't realize that, he doesn't validate for me how hard I worked over cleaning the apartment. And when I don't get that validation from Tom, my victim mentality will kick in because that's what mom did. So if mom didn't get validated by us or by dad, she would withdraw, or she would complain, or she would take her stress out on us. And so now that I'm an adult, excuse me, dear one, as an adult, if I don't get my imagined desired outcome from Tom, right? Because ACOA is, we think that people like read our minds, right? Like, we never have to take responsibility for how we feel. The people that we live with should know how we feel. It's ridiculous, dear one. And if you do that, knock it off. People are not mind readers. They're not. And they cannot know what you need unless you tell them. So this is your responsibility to love yourself enough to figure out what it is you need and then go after it and then decide what you're going to bring to the table and what you're not going to bring to the table. But to blame someone else because you don't tell people how you feel is not fair. And so moving forward in your life is not going to, that's not going to turn out well. And so negative thinking is a learned behavior. And it's really important for you to understand that unless you're observing your thought patterns, you can't correct them. And so the purpose of this information today is to teach you how to learn to detach from your thoughts and observe them. And so what I want you to do is begin keeping a diary of all the negative thoughts that you have throughout the day. Don't attach to them. Don't attach to them. Look at them. See what they are every day. Try to find the pattern and then try to link to where you think that thought process actually got created. And then what you do as you move forward, in the days and the weeks to come, you begin replacing the negative patterns with more positive thinking patterns. How do you want to think, dear one? How do you want to present yourself in life? How do you want to see the rain? How do you want to see other people? How do you want to see your life? Do you want to see your life your experience of life as one who sees life as half full, or one who sees life as half empty? What is it? You decide. And so also the other thing that ACOAs need to be aware of is we're so outer focused. We expect other people to make us happy because we don't have any patterning for how to make ourselves happy and how to validate self, because we're constantly looking to be validated outside of self because mom and dad didn't validate us before we were the age of 3. And so now we're these beings who are looking for validation, and we're very needy, and we're whiny, and we're complaining, and we're caretakers, and I'll fix you, but then you owe me. Very sneaky manipulation of ACOAs. Nice ACOAs do that a lot. They promise to take care of somebody because their intent is, if I fix you, you owe me and you'll never leave me. And it's not necessary. Once you love yourself, you let go. And then what happens is you begin to attract people who love themselves. And now we have 2 people who love each other. And then life becomes beautiful. And so, but we have to work through our dysfunctional thought processes first. And we have to come correct. And we have to step up and step into and acknowledge what we're doing wrong so that we can fix it. And so what I want you to do is begin keeping a journal every day. Okay, so that's tool number 1. Keep a journal of your thought processes. Don't attach to them. Just pay attention to the negative thoughts that are coming through your head. Okay? Then what I want you to do is develop a meditation practice. YouTube is awesome. Try mindful meditations just to relax the mind and to get the mind to relax the mental chatter. That's the second thing you're going to do. That's every day. And so also what I want you to do is before you go to bed, I want you to take the thoughts that you want to take to bed with you. Because what happens is when you take deliberate thinking into your sleep, the brain doesn't have any conflicting data to butt up against the way these new thought patterns. So every night before I go to bed, I hug my pillow and I say, I love my bed. I'm so grateful for my pillow. My bed is awesome. My pillow is awesome. I feel the bed beneath me and I'm just so thankful for it. I feel the warmth in my home and I'm thankful for it. I imagine myself being wrapped in love and light. I imagine my house being wrapped in this energy ball of love and light. I imagine each of my children being wrapped in love and light. I imagine their cars being wrapped in love and light. I imagine being protected, and I imagine that I am so grateful, and I go to sleep with an abundant heart, a heart full of gratefulness. And when I wake up in the same vibration. And so I want you to begin taking responsibility for your emotional offering, which is your vibrational offering. I don't care if mom don't acknowledge you anymore. It's done. I don't care. I don't care if your kids aren't nice to you. I don't care. You have to begin taking responsibility for your emotional offering. So if people are nasty to you, love yourself anyway. Your kids don't acknowledge you, acknowledge yourself anyway. Bless them anyway. Begin turning the energy in your home and in your own spirit around. The only energy that you can really control right here, right now, is the energy that you're giving off in any given moment, in every now. This is Eckhart Tolle's The Power of Now. You have to harness the power of now and the emotional offering you're offering now. And so if watching the news ticks you off, don't watch it. I don't watch the news. Why do I have to know? Because whatever, especially what's going on in the world today, if I equalize myself to what's coming off on that television screen, I am no good to anyone. I'm too sensitive. It pulls me down. So I stay high flying. I take responsibility for my vibration. And I know in doing that, I'm bringing more love and more light into the world. And when I'm able to lighten your heart, I'm bringing more love and more light into this world. And that's how important I am. That's how important you are. Because as you get light, as you bring more love into your body, more ability to love yourself, you get lighter. And then you begin to illuminate. And people want to know what's up with you, and they want to know what's different about you. And that opens up a door for you to start expressing what you've learned about loving the self and about taking responsibility for negative thinking. I hope this has helped, dear one. Please reach out to me and let me know. And keep those thoughts coming, because as you inspire me and leave messages, then I know how to curtail these videos and how I can help you best. Again, my name is Lisa A. Romano. I am a life coach for adult children of alcoholics and all adult children who are carrying wounds from the past. My motto is stuck in the past no more. I want you up and high flying and creating more love and more light in your life so that you can actually change the world with me. So when we become lighter in our bodies, we are literally light workers, and we become beacons of light and hope for other people. And that's what it's all about, just bringing more love and light into this world. Namaste, dear one.